Hey, welcome to a new review of a movie, fresh out. Woohoo! Yeah. So, this is, I guess, the first one I've done since The Grinch back in November, and I guess it has been a while since I've been to this theater because they're in the middle of a renovation, and I was in one of the theaters that got brand new seats, like automatically reclining stuff. So it's like, wow, neat. It's almost comfortable to sit in there now. Yay! But, yeah, I just got out of Lego 2, the second part, or whatever they want to call it, the second Lego movie. Or as I'm calling it, Holy Meta, what is this, MST3K? Okay, where do I even begin with this film? I don't hate it, but I have reservations. I was a little nervous because today I didn't go to the very last viewing of it. Because of circumstances beyond my control, I needed to go see it earlier today. In fact, it is early evening right now. And so I was not a big fan of that, and I knew there was going to be a ton of children at this, and I was worried. But it also offers an interesting barometer for this film, because I don't think I really heard a single child laugh. And there was a bunch of kids at this thing. So, I'm dreading this from the get-go, that these kids are going to laugh at every dumb joke, every mild reference that they'll understand. And it didn't happen. And like there wasn't a single scene where, or even a simple instance where there were children just laughing uproariously. There wasn't one. And I thought the one part where this one character pukes glitter would have been it. But that didn't happen. So, alright, how am I gonna deal with this? The thing about this movie, first of all, I watched the first one when I was a little bit out of it at a BronyCon. So, take that as you will. And I think I remember that. I was with my friend Paul, and we were hanging out with the girl. I guess she's on Team 4-Star. She also voices Vinyl Scratch in the fandom pony stuff. I can't remember her name to save my life right now. I learned that she also hated Hamtaro that night. Well, she loves Hamtaro, but she hates the girl that takes care of Hamtaro. I've never seen someone just flip like that, like on anything. It was weird. But, no, this movie. I can't, it's not cynical in any way, but it's got something going on that I see is it's starting to get symptomatic of these kinds of films. It happened in the Emoji Movie, it happened in Wreck-It Ralph 2, and now it happened in this, and I'm pretty sure it was happening in the first movie, I just don't remember it as well. This entire movie is references upon references upon references. It's like Ready Player One, sort of, with just franchises in Lego form. References to Bill and Ted, references to Back to the Future, references to Harry Potter. And those are just the ones that come. I mean, it never stopped. There was hardly any point. I mean, any Warner Brothers property is referenced. All Batman actors referenced. Music, bands that have, are part of, Warner Brothers record situations. And for me, that was the thing that kind of killed it. I would have said this is a good movie. It's solid. I will not deny that. It is a solid movie. But the countless just references upon references upon references. I'm a meta kind of guy. I like that sort of thing. But it gets to the point where it feels forced. Like they had to, wedge in. Like they had to make, like one of the in-jokes is they reference every single actor who's been Batman from Adam West up to now. And then they make references like Michael Keaton and, in Beetlejuice, because Beetlejuice was a movie that Warner Brothers had. There's really weird instances with Bruce Willis. For whatever reason, Bruce Willis is an inside joke in this movie. I don't understand why. I don't know. It's a solid movie. But every time that there's a reference about something, it took me out of it. Like, I don't mind it every once in a while. I mean, even in my own reviews and that, I make references to things of, pop culture and whatnot. But, I mean, this was hard to deal with. Just so much of it. And so, yeah, like I said, it took me out of it. So, just in case you're kind of curious like what this story is about, Emmett has this weird dream about Armageddon, and something's going to wipe out existence for them. And so there's this instance where his friends are kidnapped and they're being brainwashed and all this stuff, and it's more of a identity kind of movie. Like, what kind of person are you? Are you going to change? Are you not? And it has its moments, but there was never anything in this movie, because I don't want to like ruin it for anybody in case anybody really cares, that was like, wow, this was really, that part was really good, or like, that's gonna stick with me. Like, going back to the meta thing, there's a whole song that specifically says this song is going to get stuck in your head. Like that, I don't know if the title of it's called Earworm Song or anything like that, but the whole, and maybe it's just because I hadn't, it's been forever since I watched the first movie, but this, I mean, everything is so meta about this film. Referencing the audience, total fourth wall breaking that just, I don't know, it just took me out. And I don't know, I give it a higher grade than a B+, but it doesn't warrant it. I mean, I'll give it this. There was no part in this movie where I was bored. None. I was entertained, but I didn't feel like, yeah, that's really cool, or yeah, this is fun, but it's not there. The other funny thing, one funny thing about this whole movie, there really is no Will Farrell at all. Like, you hear his voice, but you never physically see him. Like, he went and fucked off somewhere else. And it's sort of like, it's even referenced in the credits that there's a speech cloud made out of Legos and it just has Will Ferrell in it. It's like, yeah, we know we couldn't have him physically there, and we got him for like an afternoon to do some voice acting. Like, that's it. Like, that's how they wrote the damn thing. Jesus Christ. Like, that's what you're dealing with this movie. And if you like that kind of thing, like, I thought I liked that kind of, meta humor and referencing pop culture a lot, but this was overkill. This felt forced. Kind of like what happened in Ready Player One and Wreck-It Ralph 2, where it's just there. And it's like, oh, you're a Hufflepuff. They reference that. Like, I've never watched Harry Potter, but I know you're a Hufflepuff. I know what that means. I wish I didn't, but I do. And so, it's, I don't know. It's good, but it just sensory overload, I think, is what I'm experiencing with this film. I honestly couldn't tell you anything else about that other than the fact that, I'm just dealing with sensory overload with it. It, like I said, entertaining, never boring at any point. Man, it just, something about the script, it just didn't gel with me. And I don't know why. I'm sorry. I maybe you were hoping for a better review from me, but that's all I can give it. It's good, but it's not great. Just something in the script, something with the dialogue just hindered me to death, and I can't put my finger on it. And if kids aren't laughing at something that's supposed to be generally for kids, I'm kind of worried. But maybe they were thinking. I don't know. One thing that does get me though. So this new character that pops up, his name's Rex. And he's like everything macho. And all the music that they use to reference him is late 70s and 80s classic rock, which not a bad choice, but most of the parents of these children that were in the theater didn't grow up with that. I'd have figured they'd have moved on to, say, I don't know, Nirvana, 90s rock, maybe even Trapped, because you gotta be headstrong. Which, if that was in there, if I'd have heard Headstrong by Trapped in this, I'd have probably had to walk out and be like, I'm not ready for this at this point. That means I am really old, because that song was popular when I was like 24. And if this is what adults are like, oh yes, my youth, Headstrong will take you on. Like, no. We need to stop everything. I think in a way that kind of, this is going to sound so sacrilegious, but I think that's a good reason why Toys R Us is no longer around, because if I'd have walked in there and I'd have heard, like, I don't know, Breaking Benjamin in the Toys R Us, I'd have probably had to quit. It's like, I gotta quit, I'm too old, just order shit online from now on, because I can't be in Toys R Us if they're playing Breaking Benjamin. Jesus Christ. So, like I said, decent movie. Just something about the script rubbed me the wrong way, because I think it's just all the references upon references upon references. You can't escape it. So what about what was going on with the previews, trailers for the next thing? How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, or whatever the fuck it's called. I'm probably gonna end up seeing that. I need to figure out when that comes out, so I'll know when exactly I'm gonna see that. But I guess I'm gonna make an attempt to see that. A Dog's Journey. There's no way in hell I'm watching that. That's just, it's got some weird sort of cynical Hallmark movie kind of vibe to it that I just don't care. I don't care. A dog spirit that basically goes through reincarnation after dog after dog after dog. I'm not there. It looks so cynical. Or maybe I'm just being cynical. But either way, it's too cynical for my ass. Finally, Secret Life of Pets 2. I know that's coming in the summer, and I have no interest to see that. If I'm around for it, yeah, I'll watch it, and review it, but I really don't care. I'm just never a fan of Illumination stuff. It's so safe. Not like this. This is, at least this takes risks and, gives you some sort of, I'll give this movie this. As much as meta as it gets, it's at least taking risks with different things. It's at least trying to convey a good story, even though it's heavily laden with Warner Brothers properties as references. But it's at least trying to do something. So I gotta give it that. It's at least making progress, pushing some ideas which are nice. I know the first one did it, from what I can remember, that film. And it does a good job there. It does have moments of, introspection. So maybe that's why the kids weren't laughing, because shit actually made them think, which, if that were the case, there might be hope for some people. I don't know. But by and large, solid movie. A little too much meta humor for me, which is really weird. I never thought that would happen, but yeah, it just, for what they were doing, a lot of it just felt forced, and that sort of took me out of it. But overall, solid film. It's worth a matinee, B+. I don't recommend coming out and seeing it unless you were a diehard fan of the first one. Come out and see it now. But, matinee maybe, special deal, something like that. Cool beans, but for me, not that much. Alright, party people. That's what I thought about the Lego stuff. And, I've got gas and I'm getting a little bit cold. So, toodles.